you have decided for the next topic. It is about relationship. We will do 3 examples and we will speak a little bit about 7th Lord, Venus, Upapada, 7 in the Navamsa, determine the fortune of marriage. And on the examples, we will see the timing, separations, if the person will be foreigner, and also the profile of the person, maybe description of career life, description of personality, and so on. So let's roll the intro and start with this topic of relationships. So the basic rules to analyze the relationship and marriage would be definitely the 7th house and 7th Lord. The 7th house will show attitude, the 7th Lord will show basic interaction, also often will show the partner, but more from perspective of the impact or the karma which is experienced in the relationship. The 7th house in the Navamsa is the partner itself. It is more showing the whole marriage dynamics. The marriage as a contract is Upapada. So also this shows the try and attempt of getting married. So the Navamsa will be more serious partnerships, marriages. Upapada may show attempts or trying. So for example, you can be on 3rd Upapada, which will then become the first marriage in the Navamsa. So there are many levels to this relationships types or seriousness. And the Venus is very important, of course, because it is bringing the blessings, the juice of the marriage, right? And for example, the difference is that the 7th Lord will show the person or interaction, but Venus is showing what kind of karma can support or afflict the marriage itself. For example, if you have Venus in 3rd house, then 2nd from Venus would be 4th house. So everything related to property or a mother or your mind, this may be things which can affect your married life, but not necessarily the spouse. So the spouse, interaction with spouse, the circumstances of the marriage would be the 7th Lord. So that is the difference. And to know if the spouse is giving you that blessings, which should be then a relationship, we see the relationship between the 7th Lord or Upapada to the Venus. So Venus is bringing that blessings. Now the emotions are shown by the Tithi. Tithi also sometimes can give us information about the spouse itself, which is very interesting. For example, if it's related to Rahu, may show the foreigner or widower. So we can use also this. So we have Venus, we have 7th Lord, Upapada, 7 in Navamsa, and the Tithi. So we have 5 points as a basic approach to this topic of relationships. So the first example would be of Linda Evans. She was married to John Derek, who was actor and photographer. As we know, after a few years they separated because the John Derek had an affair with the Bo Derek, right? So in this chart we are using the Kshema Dasha because Moon is in 6th. So when the Moon is in 6th or 2nd house, then we need to use the Kshema Vimshotri. This is the special type of Vimshotri. So if the moon is not in Kendra or not in Trikona, then there may be a better dasha to use for response, how the person is reacting to this environment stimulus than just moon Vimshotri. And what I want to show you here, this dating started in moon Venus. So normally the dating, the 12th Lord, 12th house in the Rasi chart has to be activated. This is called a Nesht Bhava. Nesht is a special priest on the marriage ceremony. He is binding the 2 people together. So that is the role of the 12th house. And also because the Venus is exalted in Pisces, so this exaltation starts, right? Venus gets own sign in Libra, and in Taurus also has own sign. So 7th house and 2nd house, they are very important. The 7 is relationship, 2nd is family, and 12 is the start of the relationship. So it happened in moon Venus. Venus is dispositor of the 12th Lord, so everything seems fine. Then they married in the Mars Jupiter, right? So Jupiter is in the Kona to Upapada, because if we see the 12th Lord here would be Mercury, so the Upapada would be in the Scorpio, and Jupiter is in the Trikona activating that Upapada, and Jupiter also is in the 3rd house in the Navamsa. Not the best placement, but exalted, but it's aspecting the 7th house of marriage. Therefore, it is providing the timing of marriage. So they married in the Mars Jupiter. So the basic premise would be that 12th house in the Rashi chart, 7th house in the Navamsa are normally activated. Now what is very important, they separated because of that Rahu, right? So Rahu is providing often the affairs because it is the karaka of cheating and shock. Especially when Rahu is in the 4th house, this is giving the Kapata yoga. So the person has this experience of being cheated. And here we will see that in Rahu it happened. And Rahu in the Navamsa is in the 2nd house. So when the 2nd house gets activated in the Navamsa, then often also the 2nd marriage starts. This is kind of temptation. And this is also related to end of marriage because also this aspects on the 8th house in the Navamsa. So for the timing dynamics, we see that the Navamsa is the best place to examine those things. And we have seen that this variation of Vimshotri is providing us very good results. So this person was cheated, but we have also a chart of Paula Broadwell. She was married to Scott Broadwell, radiologist, but she had an affair with then CAO director Petraeus, who was then fired. So very interesting chart. We see that this person is very intelligent because Jupiter, Rahu, Ketu all are aspecting the Lagna by Rasi Drishti. So this is bringing that these are these demand grahas, planets which are bringing intelligence, Sun, Jupiter, Rahu, Ketu. So this is definitely there. And now very interesting things because the 7th lord you will see is Jupiter here, Rahu Moon. So this can show someone like doctor doing radiology because these are these X-rays, right? So this has to do with Rahu and Ketu. Moon is providing that things related to doctor. Moon and Mercury, these are these planets which are giving this doctor profession. We will see that in the Navamsa, Mercury is in the 7th house. Also Jupiter is again in the Cancer. So this is also showing that the spouse is very intelligent. It's Jupiter. But the relationship is not the best because the Jupiter is an 8 from the 7th house. So from this chart we see that the males between the two were starting in Mars Rahu. So again we have the Rahu and this whole affair was revealed in the Mars Jupiter. So if we take the Upapada in the Capricorn, because even if it's in Cancer from the Moon, can jump to the Capricorn, then in the Rahu period, that was 2nd from the Upapada. So 2nd from Upapada shows how the marriage is sustained. And if there are such combination like here, we have this Jupiter Rahu in the 7th house. So this is not the best combination. And this Jupiter and Rahu is bringing lack of peace or lack of satya, so that all the characteristics of Jupiters are suffering. And we get that confirmation from the Navamsa, how these planets are placed in the Navamsa, because as I said, this will show the ultimate dynamics, what is really happening in this chart. So without the Navamsa, we may have some information about how the native is experiencing all that, but we don't know what are the impulses bringing that experience. So this is the great feature of the Navamsa, that this is providing us the dynamics. And here we have Rahu in the 6th house. So this is totally problematic combination, especially aspecting that 7th lord Jupiter from the 6th house. So again we have that Jupiter Rahu yoga, and the Jupiter is again in the 2nd house of affairs and such things. So it happened in Rahu, was revealed in Jupiter. Also very interesting because Jupiter always have this role, this mission of revealing something. Sometimes people are going to jail in Jupiter Dasha because this is the only protection this Jupiter can give to such person who have so strong impulses that without any bondage they cannot be restrained, and they are providing a lot of hymns, a lot of violence to others. So Jupiter is providing the remedy through putting them in jail. And also the Jupiter is trying to reveal the situation, show what's going on, and that affair was revealed in the Jupiter Dasha, and we see that Jupiter is in the 2nd house, which is also afflicting or ending the marriage, because that would be the 8 from the 7th lord. So when that is the special yoga, if Jupiter is in Cancer, it will always afflict the whatever is in Sagittarius, because that will be 8 from this placement. Okay guys, if you like this video so far, please let me know by clicking the thumbs up. It helps me with the algorithm to make this video more visible on this platform. Subscribe if you like to get notified about similar videos in the future. And now let's go back to these examples. We have also a chart of Chloe Sevigny, and we know that she was married to Croatian art gallery director. So we would expect Sun for director and Venus for any art. Again, we have Upapada in the Capricorn, and Sun and Venus are aspecting the Upapada, and also Rahu. So Rahu needs to be there for a foreigner. And in the Navamsa, guess what? We have Venus in 7th house, art, and the Sun is the Lord, also showing the director. And they began dating similarly, very similar to the previous example in Mercury-Venus. So again, Venus is dispositing the Mercury 12th Lord, so it is happening in the 12th house, 12th Lord activation, and they married in Mercury-Sun, and we see that Sun is with another 12th Lord Rahu in the Rasi, in the main chart, and in the Navamsa chart, the chart of marriage, the Sun is 7th Lord. So 12th house in the Rashi, 7th house in the Navamsa, they get activated. I have seen that the other dasha also are very nicely showing the Aquarius Lagna. We know that she's an actor, so Mercury, Jupiter in the Navamsa Lagna is definitely accurate. They are showing the profession of the person for this chart. So we have exactly the timing. We can see that the Rahu has to be there, or a Badaka. We see that in the Navamsa. That is my assumption, that because the Venus is a Badaka in the Navamsa, it is playing the role of Rahu. So being in the 7th house, also in this way, it supports the foreign marriage. The Rahu is also aspecting by Rahadrishti. So we have Rahu connected to Upapada and Badakesha in the 7th Lord, and Rahu aspecting the 7th house in the Navamsa. So this is showing the foreigner and Venus-Sun connection, director of galleries of art. We have aspecting the Upapada and also being in the Navamsa, and the timing is perfectly there. It happened in exactly Mercury-Sun. So we have Mercury in the Navamsa Lagna. The Mahadasha must normally somehow activate the Navamsa Lagna, and the Antardasha has to activate somehow the 7th house in the Navamsa. There is a lot to this in Crux of Vedic Astrology by Pandit Sanjay Rath. There are many techniques how this 7th house is activated by Antardasha. It can be through Trikona, it can be through Argala, it can be through aspect, conjunction, Parivartana, and so on. So this is not so easy because there will be many candidates, and through other techniques or through other dashas, as usual, we can exclude the possibilities and find the first one big period, smaller period, the year, and the month of the marriage. Okay guys, so that's gonna be it from me. I hope you find this video interesting and informative. If you like to have your analysis of relationship with those rules and much more advanced rules to analyze exactly what's going on in your relationship dynamics, then hit me up in the email below and we can schedule the consultation for you. So thanks for watching till the end and being here. Please don't forget to click the like button, subscribe for more, and see you in the next one.